RiRi deeply emotional after ASAP Rocky's mind-blowing announcement. The sun was already dipping into the Los Angeles skyline when Rihanna stepped onto the balcony of their home, her silk robe catching the warm breeze. The city hummed beneath her, loud and alive, but her mind felt strangely quiet, like the calm before something big. Inside, music played softly. Not the kind blasting from studio speakers, but a gentle vinyl record spinning old soul melodies. It was Rocky's doing. Whenever he had something important to say, he changed the atmosphere first. Rihanna knew that, and tonight she felt it in her bones. She turned as she heard the sliding door open behind her. Rocky stepped out slowly, hands tucked into his hoodie pocket, eyes thoughtful. Not nervous, Rocky rarely looked nervous, but focused, like he had rehearsed this moment in his head 100 times. "Ri," he said softly. That one word was enough to make her heart beat faster. She smiled. "You got that serious voice on. What's going on?" He exhaled, looking out at the skyline instead of at her. "You know I don't do big speeches," he said. "But I gotta say this, right?" Rihanna folded her arms, suddenly unsure whether to tease him or brace herself. "I'm listening." For a moment, he didn't speak, just let the wind move between them. Then he turned. "Everything we built, the family, the music, the life, it changed me," he said. "I used to think success meant being the loudest in the room. Now I know it means building something that lasts when the music stops." Rihanna's smile faded into something softer, more serious. He continued. "I made a decision," he said, "a big one." Her stomach tightened. Rocky stepped closer, voice steady now. "I'm stepping back from touring for a while. I'm launching something bigger. A creative foundation, music schools, fashion labs, film programs, all of it, for kids who never get the chance." Rihanna blinked. He wasn't done. "And I want us to build it together, not just as artists, as partners in something that outlives us." The words seemed to hang in the air, glowing. For once, Rihanna had no immediate response. No joke, no confident comeback, no business instinct kicking in first. Just emotion. Her throat tightened unexpectedly. "You mean really step back?" she whispered. "From the stage?" Rocky nodded. "Not forever, but long enough to build something real. I don't want our story to just be hits and headlines. I want it to be legacy." That word hit her straight in the chest. Legacy. For a moment, she tried to speak, but her voice wouldn't cooperate. Her eyes glistened before she could stop them. Rocky noticed immediately. "Hey, what's wrong?" he asked softly. Rihanna laughed through the sudden wave of emotion. "You serious right now?" she said. "You drop something life-changing on me and ask what's wrong?" He stepped closer. She shook her head, wiping at her eyes. "I'm not sad," she said. "I'm overwhelmed." Her voice broke slightly. "You know how long I prayed for this kind of clarity? For us to think beyond charts, beyond business deals, beyond all the noise," she continued. "And now you're standing here talking about changing lives." Rocky's expression softened. She took his hands. "You don't even realize what you just said, do you?" she whispered. "You didn't just announce a project. You announced a future." Tears slid down her cheeks, but she was smiling. "I'm proud of you," she said. "So proud it hurts." Rocky pulled her into a hug, resting his chin on her head. "I was scared you'd think I was slowing down," he admitted quietly. She pulled back, giving him that look, the one that mixed affection with disbelief. "Rocky," she said, "building something bigger than fame isn't slowing down. That's leveling up." He laughed softly. She cupped his face, eyes shining. "And yes," she added, voice steadier. "Now, I'm in, all the way in." The city lights flickered on behind them as if the world itself had decided to applaud the moment. Inside, the record finished its final note, but neither of them moved. Because sometimes the loudest moment in life isn't on stage. Sometimes it's on a quiet balcony, with the future unfolding in a single conversation. And Rihanna knew, as she held him there, that this announcement wasn't the end of an era. It was the beginning of something far more powerful. The rain started before dawn, not a storm, not a downpour, just a slow, steady drizzle tapping against the glass walls of Rihanna's Los Angeles home. The kind of rain that made the world feel quieter than usual, like something important was about to happen. Rihanna, RiRi to the world, stood barefoot in the kitchen, staring at her phone while her coffee went cold. Rocky had texted just 3 words. "We need tonight." No emoji, no explanation, just that. For most couples, it would have meant nothing. For them, it meant everything. Their relationship had always been intense, passionate, creative, unpredictable. They weren't just partners, they were collaborators in life. But the past few months had been strange. Rocky had been disappearing into late-night studio sessions. Whispers about secret meetings circled online, and RiRi could feel it. Something big was building. Still, he hadn't told her. That was what hurt. Not the secret, the distance. She leaned against the marble counter, remembering the early days when they used to sit on studio floors together, laughing at unfinished beats, sharing dreams that felt too big for the world. Now those dreams felt heavier, more real, and maybe more fragile. By evening, the rain had stopped, leaving the city glowing under wet streetlights. Rocky had asked her to meet him at an old theater downtown, a place they'd once snuck into years ago just to talk for hours on the empty stage. When Rihanna arrived, the building was dark, except for one light on stage. She walked in slowly, heels echoing across the floor. Rocky stood in the center, hands in his pockets, looking more nervous than she'd ever seen him. That alone made her heart tighten. "Why does this feel like a movie scene?" she said softly. He gave a small smile. "Because tonight changes everything." He didn't speak right away. Instead, he walked toward her, took her hands, and held them like they were the only steady thing in the room. "Ree," he said, voice low, "I've been working on something bigger than music." Her stomach flipped. He continued, "I'm launching a creative foundation, studios, fashion labs, music programs all over the world, for kids who grew up like we did. No doors closed, no limits." She blinked. He wasn't finished. "And I want us to run it together." The words seemed to echo in the empty theater. Not just a project, a legacy, a shared future. Rihanna's throat tightened. Not because she didn't love the idea, because she suddenly understood why he'd been distant. He wasn't pulling away. He was building something that included her. "You did all this," she whispered, "and didn't tell me?" Rocky looked down. "I wanted to be sure first. I didn't want to promise something this big unless I knew it was real." Her eyes filled, not with sadness, with the overwhelming realization that this wasn't just a surprise. It was a declaration. Not of love, she already knew he loved her, but of belief in them, in their future, in what they could build together. She laughed softly through tears. "You really trying to make me cry in an empty theater?" Rocky grinned. "Worked, didn't it?" She pulled him into a hug. Tight, real, grounding. For a moment there was no fame, no headlines, no world watching. Just two people who had grown from dreams into something lasting. "I thought something was wrong," she admitted quietly. "Nah," he said, brushing her cheek. "Something's crook." He led her to the stage, screen and pressed a button. Plans appeared. Community studios in Harlem, fashion schools in the Caribbean, music programs in Africa, creative hubs across Europe. Her hand flew to her mouth. "This is huge," she whispered. "It's ours," he said. She turned to him, eyes shining. "You really believe we can do this?" He smiled. "I believe we already started." Chapter 7. They sat on the edge of the stage like they had years ago, just two dreamers talking about impossible things. Only now those impossible things had blueprints. "You know what this means?" Rihanna said softly. Rocky nodded. "Yeah, it's not just about us anymore." She leaned her head on his shoulder. "No, it's about what comes after us." For a long moment they said nothing. They didn't need to. Some futures speak louder than words. When they stepped outside, the clouds had cleared completely. The city lights stretched forever. Rocky took her hand again. "So, you in?" Rihanna squeezed back. "I've been in." They walked down the street together, not rushing, not planning every step, just moving forward. Together.